SIBO will cause what you have heard of before, which is called leaky gut. Leaky gut is when the lining of the intestine starts to degenerate. It's inflamed, it's degenerating, you get some gaps in it. And that closed system of the gut becomes now an open system, and things will leak out into the bloodstream that before the small intestine has had a chance to discern whether it should. So you can get toxins, you can get pathogens, you can get undigested food, just things that shouldn't be in the bloodstream that are there. And then people start thinking they have food sensitivities when they don't. It's not that there's a problem with the food that they ate. It's that things are leaking out of the gut before before the small intestine has had a chance to decide whether it was good or bad. It's not supposed to be where it is, so the immune system starts to attack it, and then the person thinks they have a food sensitivity. Leaky gut, there's a lot of ways to address it. I will say with food, you want to address it with bone broth. If the person is vegan, there are still some vegans that will do things medicinally. So just make sure you have that conversation with them. Like, I understand, you want to make sure you understand where they're coming from. Is it an ethical issue? Or are they doing it for like are they a nutritarian? Are they doing it for nutrition purposes? If they're doing it for the latter, they're most likely going to do things like bone broth or take desiccated organ complexes. So, don't feel like they won't. They might, to get better. If someone's feeling really bad, they might do it. And if it's good for them, then they should. I prefer that anyone even on these complexes are doing bone broth. This formula right here, we call it L-Gut, also from Systemic Formulas that we've talked about, which stands for leaky gut. There's certain herbs that are slimy in nature, right? This is like aloe and marshmallow root and deglycerinated licorice. They're going to we call them mucolinics, and they're going to coat the interior lining of these hollow organs, and they're going to protect them so that we kind of as we're treating the overgrowth, we're going to let the interior lining heal. And that something like leaky gut works really, really well. The other formula that I use is called GI Revive, and that is on Full Script. We don't keep that one in office, but that's a powder. I haven't had a lot of complaints on the flavor of that, but then you have to do a smoothie. And let me talk about smoothies for just a second. My nutritional theory is in kind of foundation. My foundation is in, traditional Chinese medicine and Eastern medicine. And in the Far East, when you talk about nutrition, whether you're in India or China or Japan, it's a known rule that you don't eat cold things. You don't put ice in your water. You don't chalk up on ice cream every night. You don't eat a lot of raw food every single day, which is like the antithesis of the standard American diet. When we start thinking about what's healthy, everyone's like, I'll eat more salads. You're like, no, don't do that. I would prefer for you to eat warm cooked foods, because your digestive system is really weak right now, and to digest raw cold food is a lot of work, and you're going to be requiring all this blood flow to go to the gut to break these things down, warm up your gut if you're eating all this, raw cold stuff. Smoothies are both raw and cold. People are putting like frozen berries in it, and everything in it tends to go in it is raw. So when it comes to powders for digestive issues, I usually have the smoothie talk with a patient. I don't want them doing a smoothie every day. That's not going to help them at all, which is why I prefer something warm, like bone broth. It's got a ton of collagen in it. It's really, really healing to the gut. Okay, yes.
Is that one capsule in the morning on it?
Thank you, Sophia. This is 2 capsules on an empty stomach.
I actually take L-Gut every night before bed.
And it helps you sleep.
it not only helps me sleep, but it helps me to not wake up cranky. Can't explain it. But I don't wake up, not just cranky, but kind of like the world is terrible type of feeling.
Yeah, like we said last week, insomnia can be due to a lot of different reasons. It's not usually a hormone problem where they can't, make enough melatonin. You'll talk to 100 people with insomnia and they'll say, I took melatonin and it didn't work. So, you kind of have to figure out why they're waking up at night. If it's a digestive issue, you focus on digestion. If it's inflammation, you focus on inflammation.